Hey y'all, I'm Elisa, the Scrappy Wife behind ScrappyWife.com, and I am super excited to share with you a new project that I am going to participate in for the month of November, and that would be Project Gr8tful. Now, if you haven't heard of Larissa, you need to go follow her over on Instagram. She is Grateful Chick. I will make sure to link her down below, and she is absolutely wonderful, a ray of sunshine, super inspiring. And God laid it on her heart in 2013 to begin a gratitude project. And so she started posting daily gratitude on her Instagram way back then, and now is just so wonderful and inspiring. I got to hear her talk this past spring at a virtual conference, and she was awesome. So she has paired with Kelly Bangs and Illustrated Faith to write a devotional about gratitude. And I love this idea. And of course, November is kind of a month that we like to really focus on gratitude. And this is a year that we definitely need it more than ever before. So the devotional that you can get includes all of these pages that will fit in a traveler's notebook, like you can see here, and it also has a whole bunch of ephemera pieces, and I've already cut mine out and have them all ready to go. The set also includes a card that says 3 things I'm grateful for. I actually printed out a whole bunch of those cards because I'm going to use that as my daily gratitude. So there is a super easy project to do each week. For instance, the first week is all about get a new journal and commit to being grateful for 3 things every day this month and write them down. So it's all about writing down your gratitude, focusing on gratitude, and gratitude for everything that God has done for you. So today what I'm going to do is set up my journal. I have my traveler's notebook cover right here. I have several blank traveler's notebooks, so I think this is what I'm going to go with for my journaling. So I'm going to decorate it a little bit. This does not have to be a complicated project. In fact, I would recommend not making it super complicated because it will be harder to keep up with. It's about focusing on the gratitude. I love that we have all of these beautiful pieces. It makes it really easy to decorate. I've grabbed just a few things from my stash. I have some different papers and stuff that I thought might come in handy. But otherwise, yeah, I'm going to put you guys on fast forward. I will show you how I'm going to set up my journal, everything I use. I will make sure to link down below, including Larissa's contact information on Instagram and a link to this principle from Illustrated Faith. All right, let's go. Okay, you're going to see me start cutting out these pages that I'm going to put in my traveler's notebook. And as we get started, just a note about these kind of long-term projects. I know a lot of people are going to participate in Gratitude Documented. A lot of people are preparing for December Daily coming up. When you're doing these long-term projects, simpler really is better. It's so easy to get bogged down when you are doing something every day for 30 days or 45 days or 100 days. And if you make it complicated, if you feel like you have to reinvent the wheel every time you do an entry, it's gonna feel hard to do and you're not gonna want to continue on the project. So come up with a plan that is going to be simple. Do as much prep as you can ahead of time so that you're ready to go. And then just try to stick with your plan as best you can. The other thing that you really want to remember is to give yourself some grace. There might be days that you forget or you just don't get a chance to do the project. That's okay. Go back, make up those days, or just jump in on the next day. It's not a big deal. You're doing your best. You're working on a new habit, which in this case is gratitude, and give yourself a little bit of grace as you are working through this project. As you can see, this is super simple so far. I'm just adhering the pages in the book. I am doubling up my pages. So you see me kind of adding some adhesive and then folding the page over. The pages in this particular book, these are the ones that come as part of these traveler's notebooks, the cover, and the pages are super thin and I wanted them to be a little bit thicker, so I just adhered 2 together to make it thicker. I am going through my paper stash. I did not buy anything new for this project, and that is one of my other big tips on a long-term project is really scrap your stash. Go look at what you have and what you can use. You don't have to buy a bunch of new stuff just because you're starting a new project. You probably have a lot of the things that you need on hand. I already had these traveler's notebooks, I already had papers, I already had stamps. The only thing that was new to me was the actual project, the printables from Kelly Bangs and the devotional info from Larissa. So I am using a stamp from Illustrated Faith called Label Love, I think. And at first I was like, oh, I'll stamp in this mustard, and I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. So I ended up changing it later on because I just wanted it to be consistent, and the mustard was not the same. You can see me, I'm like, I don't like it. What am I gonna do? So I change it. It's okay to change your mind on things. This torn paper technique is something that I use almost all the time in my prayer journal. So I thought it would be a good technique to bring over to here. And what I'm basically trying to do is come up with my layout for each day. And I am working on a project like this, I like to have a consistency to the layout because I know what to expect when I sit down to work on the project throughout the month. So I have the torn paper, I have the cards that give me a spot to list out the 3 things I am grateful for, and then I'm going to use these labels as my date labels. And you can see I'm playing around. Maybe I'll put them vertical like this, and no, I don't like that. I just experiment with what it looks like on the page, and I eventually opt for having them here towards the middle, kind of near each other. And that'll just give me a spot to add the date in as I'm working through. I could have gone ahead and dated all these because it's a November project, so November 1 through 30, but I just decided I can add those at a later time. And then I'll just have the card in a simple piece of ephemera from Kelly Bangs because they go so nicely. I love this, and the cool thing about the printables is that you can print them over and over again. So that's as much ephemera as I'm going to need, which I think is awesome. I also decided to kind of raid my washi stash, and I'm so happy I did. First of all, the washi gives a different texture to the page. I really like the layering. I like how organic it looks when you tear it, and it's letting me use some of my washi that I have not used in a while. I really need to clean out my washi stash. I don't know about you guys, but I have a ton of it on hand, and it has gotten a little out of control, and I'm just not using it as much as I thought I would. So definitely need to go to it a little bit more. Now that I have my formula for each page, the rest of the book is actually going to come together super fast. So I am just tearing paper. I actually have enough different scraps to use a different paper for every page. Just a hint on how many different scraps I have, and I would challenge you, I'm sure you have very similar amounts. So check out what you have. Don't rush out and buy anything new just because. Now there are certainly times when I like buying new things, and I'm not saying I won't ever buy new things for a new project, but I really am trying to be good and use up my stash and be grateful for the things I have, because sometimes that my old things just get replaced with new things over the top, and I forget how much I loved them when I purchased them in the first place. I am actually super close to finishing up this Heritage 6x8 Notepad paper pad. It's from Maggie Holmes, and I've used it for a couple of years for Gratitude Documented, and I absolutely love it, and I'm almost done with it, and that's kind of a cool accomplishment too. You can see I'm kind of struggling with what I want to use as my label because I think the swan might be just a little much, so I'll just use a solid pink here for the label on that page. I actually do later on opt for a black label, and I have a bunch of tile alpha stickers that I'm going to be able to use to add different dates on, so I'm not really worried about if it's too dark, but in that case it was just too much of that particular pattern for me. But for the most part I just stick with the labels being the same as the paper on the page, unless it's just, I don't know, unless I was just wanting a contrast. And you can see I added the washi tape. It's all ready to go. Now let me tell you about the other part of this project that I'm hoping to add on. Along with documenting 3 things every day that I am grateful for, I would like to document a picture a day during the month of November. I have already been doing that in the month of October with my memory planning, and I think it would be pretty easy to incorporate it into this project as well. And anytime I can include pictures, I think it really adds a little something extra to the project, and I feel like it for this one, there's lots of things to be grateful for, and some of them are going to be very deep and meaningful things, and some of them are going to be things like pumpkin spice lattes, and that is okay too. I can be grateful for pumpkin spice lattes as well, and I can take a picture of my pumpkin spice latte, and to me, that just gives a little something extra to the project. So I am hoping above each gratitude card to be able to include a small picture every day that will kind of summarize the day or be a picture of one of the things that I listed on my gratitude list. So I decided to format this in weeks, so it'll be 7 days at a time. So this is the 7th day in a row, and then what I'll do after I add just a little bit of washi is go back and do week 2. So adding that in, I wondered if I should skip a page and have it open to one layout like I did in the beginning, but I opted to just kind of press forward and have them match up, and that's what I did. So it worked out okay. It ends up taking up not quite one full traveler's notebook, a little bit less, and so I ended up going into a second traveler's notebook. And what I'm thinking is I will be participating in gratitude documented, and so I think I will have my gratitude documented notes and study be in the second half of my second notebook, if that makes sense. So all of my gratitude, all of my November projects will kind of be all in one traveler's notebook set that will be in one cover together. So I think it'll be easy to work on, and I think the two will relate together. This is more of that prep work, kind of planning it out as far as how it's going to work with the other projects I'm doing this month. I'm someone that generally has a lot of projects going at one time, so I really do have to take some time to think it through in my head how they're going to work together and make sure that I'm working kind of smarter, not harder, if that makes sense. So the Gratitude Documented project is going to be based in scripture, a scriptural study that I am going to work through, and this one is more of just an everyday life kind of gratitude, and I'm sure there's going to be some overlaps with the two things, but I think having them in the same traveler's notebook will kind of make it easy for me. It'll simplify the two different projects, and they'll kind of relate to each other in that way. I will be honest, as I was setting up this traveler's notebook, I was thinking about how great it would be to create one of these for every month. And I am definitely gonna send Kelly Bangs a little email to suggest, maybe we could just update some of the colors and stuff each month and do it again. So I think that would be awesome. And of course, there's all kinds of printable sets that you could use to make these. I just happen to really like the little gratitude cards. So having those in, all the colors, that'd be pretty cool. I am finishing up the second week. I'm only going to do a couple of weeks right now and then show you guys what I have so far. Now I'm adding to the front. It's going to be really simple. I don't usually use this craft paper a lot, but simple project gratitude, and I have some of these puffy stickers to kind of add a little bit extra to the front. And otherwise, it is pretty much done. I'm trying to figure out if I want to add something extra. I'll add this sweet girl, and then really, it's done. Okay, I've successfully made a huge mess in my work area, but I have one notebook ready to go for Project Grateful. Has the introduction in it, week 1, and then room 7 days in each week, and then on to week 2. So I love the simplicity. I love using kind of the formula to set up. I have a few pages at the back that I could do, I don't know, anything I want to with it. And then I will set up a second notebook right here to finish out this project. I am super excited about documenting my gratitude in this month of November. If you are doing a gratitude project, I would love to hear about it below. So make sure to leave a comment. Let me know what project you are jumping in on. I have all the supplies I use listed down below. I also have a link to sign up for my email newsletter, so check that out as well. I hope that you have a fabulous day, and as always, keep it creative.